And if I told you that in 2025, while most Americans are arguing about bathroom politics and whether AI is going to steal their jobs, there's a silent revolution happening in the most unexpected places in America. Places where you can still buy land for the price of a used Honda Civic, where building codes are more like building suggestions, where your neighbor is 3 miles away and the government basically forgot you exist. Meanwhile, in California, you need 17 permits to change your mailbox color. In New York, your studio apartment costs more than a 4-bedroom house with acreage in these places. And in most coastal cities, the American Dream TM has been trademark protected and sold back to you as a subscription service. But here's the thing. Nobody's talking about. There are still 5 states in this country where you can actually build something from scratch, from literal dirt, from nothing, where freedom isn't just a word politicians say before asking for donations. And I'm going to show you exactly where they are, before Wall Street buys them all and turns them into investment opportunities, before they become the next Aspen, before some tech billionaire decides rural Montana needs a Whole Foods. If you like the idea of not needing permission from 14 bureaucrats to build a shed on your own land, maybe hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more videos about actual freedom before it becomes a historical concept. I know, asking for engagement is cringe, but you know what's more cringe? Needing a permit to collect rainwater, needing approval from a committee to paint your own fence, needing to explain to a zoning board why you want windows on the south side of your house. So here we are. Algorithm is temporary. Property rights should be forever. You wake up, check your bank account, realize your rent just went up again, for the 3rd time this year. Your landlord's investment fund needs to hit their quarterly targets, you understand? You drive to work past 20 construction sites that have been under renovation since the Obama administration. You pay $12 for a sandwich that's mostly air and regret. Someone on Twitter is arguing that owning property is actually oppressive and probably racist somehow. Your therapist costs more per hour than your grandfather made in a week, and she just told you that maybe your anxiety is because you're not living authentically. You look at houses online. Every listing says cozy, which means small, charming, which means old and broken, investment opportunity, which means tear this down and start over, but you can't afford to. And somewhere, deep in your bones, under the student loans and the credit card debt and the subscription services you forgot to cancel, you think, there's got to be a better way. There is. It's just not where you're looking. It's not in the places HGTV told you to look. It's not where your college friends are buying their starter homes. It's not where the influencers are flipping properties for content. The American frontier isn't dead. It just moved to places that tech bros haven't discovered yet. Places where you can still build a life, literally construct it with your own hands, without selling your soul to a mortgage company or explaining your vision to a zoning committee that meets once a month on the 3rd Tuesday and spends 40 minutes arguing about fence heights. This video is your map, your treasure map, to 5 states where building from scratch isn't just legal, it's practically encouraged. Where land is cheap, rules are reasonable, and you can actually afford to fail without destroying your entire bloodline's financial future. Where you can swing a hammer without a permit, where you can make mistakes and learn and build again, where the government isn't breathing down your neck asking if you filed Form 27B/6. Hot, affordable, possible. Let's go. Number 5, Montana, where the government forgot to govern. Picture this. You buy 40 acres for less than a luxury SUV. No HOA, no covenants, no Karen next door measuring your fence height with a tape measure, and a complaint form pre-filled out. Montana has something beautiful called minimal building codes in most rural counties, which means if you want to build a cabin, you basically just build a cabin. Revolutionary, I know. In 2025, the idea that you can just build something on your own land is somehow controversial. But in Montana, they're still operating on frontier logic. If it's your land, it's your land. If you want to build with logs, you cut yourself. Go ahead. If you want to wire your own electricity, just don't burn down the forest. If you want to install a wood stove, nobody's checking if it's up to code. The catch? It's cold, like stupid cold, like your nostrils freeze shut cold, like your car won't start, and you're genuinely not sure if it's the battery or if physics just stopped working cold. But here's the thing, cold is cheap. You can't regulate cold away. You can't pass a law making winter warmer. You can just wear another layer and keep living your life. Cold is honest. Cold doesn't pretend to care about your feelings. Plus, Montana has this weird legal thing where if you're building on your own land outside city limits, You're basically the king of your own kingdom. Want to build with straw bales? Go ahead. Want to use reclaimed materials? Nobody cares. Want to install a composting toilet? The state isn't even going to ask. They're too busy dealing with actual problems like grizzly bears and wildfires. The land itself is absurdly beautiful. Mountains, forests, rivers that look like screensavers. You can buy 40 acres with a view that would cost $40 million in Colorado, and nobody's there. Nobody's watching. Nobody's judging your architectural choices. Meanwhile, in Seattle, people are waiting 18 months for permit approval to add a bathroom. In Portland, there's a 6-month backlog just to schedule a pre-permit consultation meeting about potentially filing for a permit. Montana, cold, empty, free. Number 4, Wyoming, America's beautiful secret. Wyoming has more antelope than people. Let that sink in. The animals outnumber the humans. The wildlife has majority representation. Which means, when you're building your dream property, your biggest concern isn't nosy neighbors. It's making sure the elk don't eat your garden and the antelope don't judge your construction techniques. Here's where Wyoming gets spicy. No state income tax. Property taxes that would make coastal residents weep with joy. And building regulations that essentially boil down to, don't burn down the forest, don't poison the water, try not to die. You can buy land in Wyoming for literal peanuts. We're talking $500 to $2,000 per acre in some counties. That's not a typo. That's not a scam. That's not a timeshare presentation. That's just what happens when supply dramatically exceeds demand. And the marketing department for Wyoming apparently doesn't exist. The weather? Harsh. The wind in Wyoming is a character in your life. It has opinions. It will knock you over. It will steal your hat, and you'll never see that hat again. Winter lasts from October to May. Summer is 3 weeks in July. The isolation? Real. Your nearest neighbor might be an actual hour away. The closest grocery store might be a 40-minute drive. Amazon delivery takes forever and the driver looks at you like you're insane for living out here. The freedom? Absolute. And here's the kicker. Wyoming has something called primacy on building codes, which means counties can opt out of most state regulations. Some counties have. Which means you're dealing with local folks who understand that sometimes you just want to build a workshop without filing 37 forms and waiting for someone named Derek from the county office to approve your window placement. In some Wyoming counties, you don't even need a building permit at all for anything. You're just expected to not be an idiot, which honestly is refreshing. The government is basically saying, you're an adult, figure it out. Want to build a shipping container home? Do it. Want to construct an off-grid solar setup? Nobody's stopping you. Want to live in a yurt while you build your main house? Wyoming doesn't care. Wyoming has bigger problems, like wind. So much wind. Empty. Brutal. Yours. Number 3. Arizona. The desert doesn't judge. Arizona is fascinating because it's split personality disorder as a state. Phoenix? Basically California now. HOAs, regulations, people complaining about your grass length even though it's a desert and grass shouldn't even exist here. But rural Arizona? Still the Wild West. Literally. Drive 2 hours from any major city and suddenly you're in places where building codes are suggestions and the county assessor visits once a year if you're lucky. Places where your nearest neighbor is a retired guy named Chuck who moved here in 1987 and hasn't talked to the government since. Arizona has dozens of counties where off-grid living isn't just legal, it's normal, expected, encouraged. Solar panels, of course. Rainwater collection? Makes sense. Building with alternative materials? Nobody even blinks. Building with literal garbage? As long as it doesn't blow away, you're good. You can buy desert land for $1,000 an acre. Sometimes less. Sometimes way less if you're willing to be really remote and the land is just dirt and rocks and cacti and regret. But it's your dirt and rocks and cacti and regret. The reality? It's hot. Like, the steering wheel burns your hands through oven mitts. Hot. Like, going outside in July is a hostile act against your own body. Hot. Like, you understand why ancient civilizations worship the sun because you've felt its wrath. Hot. But heat is honest. Heat doesn't pretend to care about your feelings or your permit application. Heat doesn't send you passive-aggressive letters about your fence color. Heat just exists, and you adapt. Plus, Arizona has no building codes at all in unincorporated areas of certain counties, which means if you want to build a dome house out of concrete and dreams, you can just do it. If you want to construct an earthbag home, go ahead. If you want to live in a school bus while you figure things out, Arizona isn't judging. Some counties don't even require electrical inspections. Some don't care about your septic system, as long as you're far enough from any water source. Some genuinely operate on the principle of We have bigger problems than whether your shed has proper ventilation. And the land? Dramatic. Beautiful in a harsh, unforgiving way. Sunsets that look fake. Night skies that remind you the universe is incomprehensibly large. Silence so complete you can hear your own thoughts, which is either therapeutic or terrifying, depending on your thoughts. Hot, weird, legal. Number 2, New Mexico. Cheap land, cheaper rules. New Mexico is what happens when the government gives up in the best possible way. You can buy property in New Mexico for less than most people spend on their wedding. 50 acres? $20,000 in some areas. That's not even a down payment in most states. That's not a starter fund. That's the whole thing. Title, land, deed, yours. And the building regulations? Sweet nothing in most rural counties. No permits required for structures under a certain size. No inspections unless you specifically request them. No covenant communities telling you what color your curtains can be. No architectural review boards explaining why your roof pitch doesn't match the aesthetic vision for the community. New Mexico also has some of the most builder-friendly alternative construction laws in America. Earthships, legal, and there's literally a community of them outside Taos. Cob houses, legal. Straw bale construction, welcomed. Shipping container homes, legal and increasingly common. Adobe, it's literally the traditional building method here. The state has programs, actual government programs, supporting alternative building methods. They want you to experiment. They want you to innovate. They need development, and they're not going to stop you from developing just because you want to use recycled tires and rammed earth. The catch is, it's poor, like actually economically struggling. New Mexico has one of the lowest median incomes in America. The job market is rough. The infrastructure is aging. The schools need help, which is why everything's cheap. But here's the thing about poor places. They can't afford to regulate you to death. They don't have the budget for 17 inspectors and 40-page permit applications. They need you. They want you to build things. They want investment. They want people to move there and spend money and create jobs. So while Brooklyn is arguing about tiny house legislation and whether backyard cottages threaten the neighborhood character, New Mexico is like, please build anything. We're begging you. We'll help you. Here's some tax incentives. The landscape is otherworldly. Mesas, desert, mountains that look like they're from another planet, clear air, dark skies, land that stretches forever. You can see 100 miles in any direction. You feel small. You feel free, strange, empty, affordable. Number 1, Texas. Freedom isn't just a slogan. Of course it's Texas. Where else would it be? Texas has something no other state has. A genuine cultural commitment to leaving you alone. It's not just policy. It's personality. It's identity. Texans are genuinely offended by the idea of telling you what you can do on your own land. Want to build outside city limits? Go ahead. Want to live off-grid? Nobody's stopping you. Want to use alternative building methods? The state actively has programs supporting it. Want to raise chickens? Obviously. Want to have goats? Why wouldn't you? Want to build a workshop bigger than most people's houses? That's your business. Texas land prices vary wildly, but you can still find affordable acreage in West Texas, the Panhandle, and parts of East Texas. We're talking under $2,000 per acre in some places, for actual buildable land, with road access, with water rights, with mineral rights, sometimes included. And here's the secret weapon. Texas has dozens of counties with essentially no building codes outside city limits. None. Zero. Nada. Zilch. You want to build a house? Build a house. You want to start with a shed and expand over time? Do it. You want to construct a compound? Texas isn't going to stop you. The only real rules are about septic systems. Because, public health and not poisoning the groundwater is apparently where even Texas draws the line. You need proper septic. That's basically it. Beyond that, you're an adult. Act accordingly. No permit needed for most structures. No inspections required. No waiting periods. No design review boards. No conditional use permits. No variances. No appeals. No committees. No bureaucracy. You can literally buy land on Friday and start building on Saturday. Try doing that in California. Try doing that anywhere on the East Coast. You can't. You'd spend 6 months in meetings first. But Texas treats you like an adult. Revolutionary concept in 2025. The idea that you can be trusted to make decisions about your own property without government oversight is somehow radical now. The reality check. It's big, really big, hilariously big. The distances are absurd. Dallas to El Paso is the same distance as Dallas to Chicago. You can drive for 12 hours and still be in Texas. People from other states genuinely don't understand the scale until they visit. Summer is brutal, like Arizona brutal, but with humidity in the eastern parts. Like, you walk outside and immediately start sweating, brutal. The Gulf Coast feels like a sauna. The Panhandle feels like an oven. West Texas feels like the surface of Mars. And yes, the power grid has issues. February 2021 was real. The infrastructure needs work. The politics are Texas politics. You're either gonna love it or hate it, and there's not much middle ground. But you know what Texas has that most states don't? Space. Actual space to breathe and build and fail and try again. Space to make mistakes and learn from them. Space to experiment and iterate and figure things out. Texas has a genuine frontier mentality that somehow survived into the 21st century. The idea that you should be free to succeed or fail on your own merits. The idea that the government should protect your rights, not tell you how to live. You can build whatever you want, however you want, and nobody's gonna stop you unless you're actively endangering others. That's the deal. That's the trade-off. Big, hot, free. Because all of these places have something in common. They're still affordable right now. Today, this year, this moment. But that window is closing, fast. Like watching a time-lapse of a door slamming shut. Remote work made every place accessible. Suddenly, geography doesn't matter for knowledge workers. Suddenly, you don't need to live in San Francisco to work for a San Francisco company. Suddenly, the whole map is open. Crypto bros are buying Montana. They want their privacy, their space, their freedom from surveillance. Tech refugees are discovering Arizona. They're fleeing California taxes and regulations and bringing their Silicon Valley salaries to Phoenix suburbs and then spreading out. Digital nomads are finding New Mexico. Artists are finding New Mexico. People who want cheap land and few rules are finding New Mexico. And every year, more people figure out that you don't actually need to live in a shoebox apartment working 60 hours a week to afford health insurance and avocado toast. Wyoming is being discovered by preppers, homesteaders, and people who just want to be left alone. Texas never stopped growing, and the rural areas are next. The land rush is coming. It's already started in some places. Montana land prices have doubled in some counties over the last 5 years. Arizona desert lots that went for $500 are now $5,000. The secret is getting out. And once Wall Street figures out they can buy these places, package them as investment opportunities, and sell them back to you at a markup, game over. Once the first luxury development breaks ground in rural Montana, it's done. Once someone builds a resort in Wyoming and celebrities start visiting, prices skyrocket. Once these places become trendy, they become unaffordable. Tale as old as time. Austin was affordable 20 years ago. Bozeman was affordable 10 years ago. Bend, Oregon was affordable. Asheville was affordable. Then the secret got out, and suddenly locals can't afford to live there anymore. You can keep scrolling, keep renting, keep waiting for the perfect time that never comes because perfect times don't exist, and waiting is just fear with a schedule. Keep thinking that someday, somehow, things will just magically get more affordable, even though every trend points the opposite direction. Keep believing that the system will fix itself even though the system is working exactly as intended, just not for you. Or you can get weird, get uncomfortable, get free, move somewhere nobody's heard of, buy land that doesn't have a Starbucks within 50 miles, build something with your own hands, make mistakes, learn, adapt, grow. These 5 states aren't perfect, they're harsh, they're isolated, they're not Instagram ready, there's no brunch spots, the Wi-Fi might be terrible. Your friends will think you're crazy, your family will worry, but they're real, they're possible, and they're still attainable. The American dream didn't die. Everyone keeps writing obituaries for it, keep declaring it dead, keep making documentaries about its demise. But it didn't die, it just moved. It moved to places where people stopped looking for it. It moved to places where it's still possible to buy land, build a life, and own something real. It's waiting for you in Montana's cold freedom, in Wyoming's empty space, in Arizona's honest heat, in New Mexico's creative flexibility, in Texas's stubborn independence. It's there, right now, today. The question is, are you brave enough to go get it? I'm breaking down the actual costs, like spreadsheet-level detail, of buying land and building in these places. Real numbers, real budgets, real permits or lack thereof, real financing options, real timelines. Everything the real estate gurus won't tell you because they're trying to sell you courses. Click that next video before I make you move to Guam without sunscreen, a prayer, or a return ticket. And remember, freedom is inconvenient, it's uncomfortable, it's uncertain. But so is asking permission for everything. So is living in a system designed to keep you renting forever. So is playing by rules written by people who already own everything. Choose wisely, choose quickly, choose now. The frontier is still open, but it won't be forever.